All right, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Ask Admissions Facebook Live. My name is Jordan Stevenson. I'm the Director of Student Recruitment, and we have a very special, highly esteemed guest with us tonight, and I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Wonderful, thank you. I am Michael Sansevero. I am the Associate Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students here at KSU.
Boom.
That's awesome. And I'm Jacinta Lister. I'm the Senior Admissions Counselor for Undergraduate Admissions.
Another really esteemed guest. Now that's not your title.
That is.
You need to tell people your new title.
Okay.
If you can get it out.
Yeah, I was going to say, can I get out my new title?
Yeah.
Manager of Admission for Special Populations.
Boom.
There we go.
Super cool. Yeah, super cool. So there you go. Good. Thank you. Thank you. And Jacinta's also an esteemed guest, but no, Jacinta's always
I'm
here.
always here, though.
We are super excited to have Dr. Sansevero, our Dean of Students, on with us this evening. And this is your time to ask about student affairs, student life, what it's like to be a student here at the institution, and really what his office does, and everybody really in student affairs does to support students here at Kennesaw State. So we're going to get into some great questions tonight. We want to hear great questions from you. We do have a little bit of news from the nest, so I want to make sure that you're up to date on what is going on here at Kennesaw State University. A big thing that's happening coming up at the end of this week. It's Friday, so what a great day for a deadline. It's our priority deadline. So if you're out there, you're a parent of a student that's interested in applying to KSU, or you're a student and you're looking to apply for fall 2020, our very first deadline for fall 2020 is coming up this Friday, November the 1st, and it's our priority deadline. You need to apply by the priority deadline. If you haven't applied yet to the university, if you're sitting there at home and you're watching this, or you're coming to us like a day or two after we actually record this, and you're saying, oh my gosh, I haven't applied yet to KSU, you still have a little bit of time to do it. So why do you want to apply priority to KSU? One, our scholarship application opens November the 1st. It's open for admitted students. You want to be an admitted student, right?
Yes.
So, full circle, you can fill out the scholarship application. So, you need to apply by November 1st. You need to get us your transcript, you need to get us your test scores, get everything in so that we can make an admissions decision on you and you can fill out the scholarship application. We have one application that serves for over 200 different scholarships here at the university. Scholarships are run through our financial aid office. So I love it because they're in alignment together, financial aid working with the scholarships that are offered through the university, and we want to make sure that you're considered for everything that you could qualify for here at KSU. So make sure you fill out the scholarship application after you apply priority, right? Another big thing, housing. So if you're interested in living on campus, we're on our Marietta campus. We normally film from our Marietta campus, so absolutely love the Marietta campus. And if you want to live on campus, Marietta campus or Kennesaw campus, our housing application will open December the 2nd. That's a Monday in December. That's why that's we had to go with the second. Not with the 1st. The 1st is on a Sunday. I don't know what it is.
I think we should just still keep with the 1st.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
We can talk about that later. But I agree. But so we're going to open it up on that Monday, December the 2nd. And you need to be admitted to the university so that you can go out and secure your housing. So if you're like gung-ho, I'm definitely going to KSU, and I definitely want to live on campus, then you want to fill out the housing application as soon as possible. Last year, for this fall right now, fall 2019, we had wait lists on both campuses. Housing is super popular here at Kennesaw State. We want to make sure that you're able to get the housing that you want so that you can transition the way that you want to Kennesaw State, right? Other big things going on, we have an open house coming up. This is our last open house of the fall. Jacinta and I are kind of sad about it.
I'm sad about that, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
It's a good thing, and then we're going to have Thanksgiving, and then it's the holiday season. So anyways, we're excited to get to open house. Come spend a Saturday with us, see what our institution has to offer. It's going to be on our Kennesaw campus, so it's all of the majors that are housed on the Kennesaw campus, and you can sign up. Very easy to sign up. So go online, go to our visit website, visit.kennesaw.edu. Open house sign up is right there. But we would love to have you on November the 16th for open house. You get to meet with professors, you get to see all the really cool things that are going on over in student affairs and the different things you can be involved in as a student. We're going to have a lot of fun that day, and then you get to eat in the Commons, which is phenomenal. Yeah, the best. We've been ranked as high as number 2 in the nation in food. Right now we're number 5 in the nation. I don't know what the difference is.
It's still good. We're still in the top
That's
5.
right.
That's
right.
all that matters.
All I know is that from the time we were ranked number 2 to the time we were ranked number 5, the pizza still tastes the same, and that means I'm happy. So there you go. But come to open house, spend time in the Commons, see housing, see what we have to offer, and see if we could be a good fit for you. FAFSA is open right now, so I'm a higher ed professional, and I know how to say FAFSA. So our financial aid people love it when people pronounce it FAFSA, not FAFSA, FAFSA, okay? So I'm giving you a little college knowledge out there, parents, students. FAF, the F comes before the S, FAFSA. But FAFSA is open. It opened October the 1st. So for the next academic year, if you want to go ahead and fill out your financial aid application, you can do that. So it's open right now. We would love for you to do that. That way, as soon as we're able to package you, that's a financial aid term, as soon as we're able to put your financial aid package together, call it packaging, then you'll be able to find out sooner and make an informed decision about where you go to school. So that's a very good thing. I've got a lot of news from the nest. I'm so sorry, folks. I just realized, I was like, wow, I need like a whole...
There's a lot going on.
A newspaper.
It's a busy time for us.
It is a busy time.
So we gotta get all the information.
Yeah. I should have given you some news from the nest to read, sorry.
That's okay.
Another big news from the nest thing. So very exciting things going on in our career planning and development office. And they have this really neat thing that they're doing right now called an apply-a-thon. So like a phone-a-thon, but no phones, it's apply-a-thon, okay? Apply-a-thon, and that is for current students here at KSU. So if you're out there and you're a current student, you just happened upon, because you're scrolling Facebook, you happened upon the KSU Facebook page, and you're like, yeah, I'll watch this video because I see Dr. Sansevero and he's really cool, and I want to see what he's talking about. Then now you got it. Go to the Apply-a-thon. It's on November the 5th. Really cool, from 5 to 8 in Perlman Plaza. And they're going to have career and internship advisors on hand to help you with job applications. You need to have your resume. Yeah, really cool. I mean, to have this hands-on, this is our approach, right? Even being a big university like we are, we have people out there that really care about you from the beginning to the end and beyond, right? So during this time, you're a current student, you're looking for a job, you're looking for that next step, and our career and internship advisors are there for you to help you. They're going to help you apply for these jobs, talk through your resume. You need to already have your resume put in Handshake. If you're a current student, hopefully you're familiar with Handshake. So you can find out more by going to careers.kennesaw.edu. I think this is really cool. Just another example, and this is meaningful to prospective students and families as well, is these are the kinds of things that we're trying to do to help your students out and make sure that they're getting the best leg up on life that they can get when they come here to college. You're entrusting them to us to help them develop as human beings, right? And ultimately become successful people to get out into the world and do the things that they want to do. And this is one of those things. Our career planning and development office is absolutely fantastic, and they're going to help you all throughout your time here at KSU, and then even when you're out as an active alum. Let's see, we've got a Saturday transfer session coming up. So if you're a transfer student out there and you're like, what about me? What about me? I'm big time. Yes.
That was me. I was a transfer student.
You were a transfer student, and you've been phenomenal.
Thanks.
Yes. So super successful, Jacinta
Yeah.
Luster, manager of admissions for special populations. Really cool title. And I don't know that we were doing Saturday transfer sessions when you were looking to come. So
They were just regular campus tours.
Right.
When I was a student coming in back in 2008.
2008. Does that seem like a long time ago?
It was a long time ago.
Right. It's still in the 2000s, so that's a plus, right? So speaking to that, we're now doing really cool things for transfer students. We want to meet you where you are. We realize the weekdays can be very busy, Monday through Friday, not always accessible. You're busy at your current institution, working, doing all sorts of things. We want to make ourselves accessible to you. So we're going to have a transfer information session on Saturday, November the 9th. Okay, so November the 9th, again, go to visit.kennesaw.edu. Anything you want to do if you're coming to an event for us, campus tour. So we do campus tours all throughout the week, as well as on a lot of Saturdays, as you're finding out. you go to visit.kennesaw.edu, and that's how you sign up for our events. We also have a Spanish information session and campus tour on November the 20th. So great opportunity if you would like to learn about the university, learn about the admissions process, and see everything on campus in Spanish, then come for that day. Okay, if you're more comfortable learning about this institution or learning about going to college in Spanish, then this is going to be the day for you. November the 20th. You can also sign up at visit.kennesaw.edu. We play football this Saturday, like most Saturdays in the fall, and we're fantastic. Okay,
killing it.
Killing
Can I
it.
just shameless plug?
Yeah.
This past Saturday, our football team was awesome the entire time from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. Our band was awesome. They did a Halloween theme. Like, everything was just great. So if you haven't been to a football game, come out, support your Owls, because our football team is awesome.
Yep.
Are amazing. And a free concert.
And a free concert,
yeah.
yes.
Free concert
right
afterwards.
after there was a free concert.
Exactly.
So.
And the weather cleared, so it was perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. All those people who stayed away because you were scared of a little bit of raindrops.
It's okay.
No, you missed an amazing concert. You should have been there. It was great.
Right when I decided to take a drink of water is when they
Michael and I are
decided
like,
to stop
what
talking.
are you thinking?
So, yeah. I completely agree with their sentiments. And we play Monmouth, so if you ever wondered how to pronounce that, it's Monmouth. And we play them on Saturday at 2 p.m. Yeah, you can watch them you can watch us on ESPN3, which is pretty cool. Okay, so a lot of times if I'm away, I've got the ESPN Plus app, and I just pull it up on my phone or on my iPad. Much to my wife's chagrin, as we're driving down the road, I'm sitting there with an iPad, watching KSU football. But anyways, there you go. And then last but not least, Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
So
Best.
Ooh, there's my costume.
yeah, there you go.
Hootie-hoo.
Hootie
Yeah,
hoo.
I love
That's
it.
right. I love it. I love it. So we're dressed as higher education professionals, just for you. So
I got a little cheetah print on just to
yeah,
jazz it up.
and you look phenomenal, by the way. Becca is telling us we have a question.
Oh.
Let's jump in and answer this question, and then we want to find out more about Dr. Sansevero. We want to pick his brain because ultimately he wants to help y'all, students, parents, grandparents, everybody out there, transition to college and help with this whole thing, right? So we're going to demystify the college transition process and what goes on within an institution and how we help you develop as students. So I'm excited about that. Okay, what's our question?
Yes.
Our first question comes from John, and he wants to know about the Big Owl bus. How long does it take to get between campuses?
Oh, wow. All right, John. So the Big Owl bus. The Big Owl bus, for those who don't know, the Big Owl bus is our shuttle system that shuttles your students around campus, off campus. So if you want to get between the Kennesaw campus to the Marietta campus with no traffic, it's about 11 minutes, so it's not far a drive.
It's very specific.
I've timed it.
Is that express lane or no express
That
lane?
is no express
Oh,
lane.
yeah,
We
see.
are an
There
11-minute
you go.
drive
Not
from
bad.
Kennesaw to Marietta. Now with traffic, it may be a little bit longer, but the great thing about the Big Owl bus is that, one, you're not driving, so you just get to hang out and chill. Each of our drivers are really different. We have one driver, I don't know his name, and I feel really bad, but he wears the best socks. I know that sounds really strange, but he's like really cool. He always plays really good music, so I always enjoy like riding the Big Owl bus when he's the driver, but it usually takes anywhere from about 11 minutes to about 20 minutes. It just depends on the traffic that day, what day you have classes. Also, if you are curious of where your owl is going, so whether it's a gold or a black, or if it's a different route for you, you actually can go online to our shuttle system and it'll tell you which route you need to hop on and kind of the time frame it's going to take for it to get to your bus stop. So definitely go onto our website to see when that will be.
The link for it.
Oh, perfect.
Nice.
So
Wow.
use the link.
Full service.
Becca
Full
is
service.
awesome, but use the link and you can see where your owl bus will be for you. And get there early. Don't be running to the bus stop. Make sure you get there early.
Awesome. Okay. Our next question is a two-parter. Jillian wants to know, how do you turn in personal documents to Owl Express? And then the other part of her question is, how do you turn in dual enrollment transcripts, because that's a bit tricky.
Okay, so perfect for me.
Yeah.
I'll take this one on as well.
Special population.
Special population, dual enrollment students. Okay, so if you're turning in documents to AliExpress, so you actually you don't turn in documents into AliExpress. You can check your status online. That is through AliExpress. It'll let you know exactly what documents you need. But if it's a high school transcript, typically those can come through GA Futures, or your high school counselor can mail that to us. They may use a different system like Naviance, but you can request that from your high school. And however your high school counselor or your school sends transcripts, that is how we'll receive those documents as long as it's official. The same will go with your SAT or ACT scores for dual enrollment and your college transcripts. If you were previously dual enrolled somewhere else, make sure that you go onto the college that you were previously dual enrolled at to request that transcript to be sent to us so we can get those college credits as well. But you'll do everything officially and electronically through the portals and the means that you can with your high school counselor.
And any other personal documents, like maybe a Georgia 500 form or something like that, you're going to want to hand deliver that document to the admissions office and let us handle that in person. You can also email your admissions counselor, or for instance, if it's dealing with dual enrollment, email Jacinta. And if there's something that's of true personal nature, then they'll work out the best way to get that to us.
And if you have dual enrollment questions, you want to talk to me personally about it, you can email me at depadmissions@kennesaw.edu and I'll get to your questions.
Perfect.
We're blowing up, we got a lot of questions.
All right.
Okay,
Oh,
well.
All right.
A lot of questions.
Okay.
The next one, how long are our admissions decisions taking right now? What's the turnaround time?
Yeah, so right now we're at about a week to 2 weeks to be able to turn around an admissions decision. So just if you've applied, you've completed your application, hang tight with us during this time because it's a very busy time. It's only going to get even more, even busier as we head into Friday, the priority deadline. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Our next question comes from, sorry, I lost my place. Okay. Jay, I'm considering attending in the spring. How do I go about housing? Is there a chance for housing?
Oh, okay.
You want me to answer?
Yeah.
So, sorry, pardon me, if that was really loud. Coming in for the spring, you want to reach out to the housing department and you want to reach out to them as soon as you can. So, Becca, if you can drop in the housing website right there, that'd be perfect. That there is limited availability for housing in the spring, but we can't guarantee any housing. More often than not, what you're finding is our largest influx of students is coming in the fall of each year, each academic year. And that's traditionally when students are signing up for housing and then they're going to stay on campus through the fall and through the spring. But we do have some availability, limited availability. I don't want to speak too much for housing, but please reach out to housing and let them know you're interested in living on campus. Which campus, so the Marietta campus or the Kennesaw campus, and that will be based on your major. So if you're coming in for spring and you're going to major in something like electrical engineering, no, that's on the Marietta campus. That's where we are tonight. If you're going to major in something like nursing, then that's on the Kennesaw campus. So just reach out to them and we'll let them answer your questions.
Okay. For first-year students, is living on campus required?
So living on campus is not required for first-year students on the Kennesaw campus. Although we're all one institution, we're all Kennesaw State. But on the Kennesaw campus, the North Campus, you're not required to live on campus your first year. At Marietta, there is still a live-on requirement that came with the consolidation of Southern Polytechnic and Kennesaw State University. So there still is that live-on requirement, but it's a great opportunity for you if you can live on campus as a student, because it's a good transition from you. So you're not living at home, you're having to wake up at a certain time, mom and dad's not doing it for you. You just have that maturity and opportunity for yourself. So I would say you're not required to live on campus, but once again, it's a great opportunity for you. Plus, you get to sleep in just a little bit longer than you would if you had to get in your car and drive. So we definitely would love for you to be on campus, but if not, there is not a live-on requirement for the Kennesaw campus, but there is for the Marietta campus.
Anything you want to add
Yeah.
to living on campus? I mean, now we're definitely
We're
wading.
getting into your
We're
wheelhouse.
wading in your waters.
Yeah.
So, yes. So, one of the things about living on campus, so even though currently I'm the Dean of Students, what first brought me to KSU was I was the first Director of Residence Life. So when KSU became a residential university, that's right, so 16 years ago when I came to KSU,
That's right.
that was my first job. And I will tell you, living on campus is an amazing experience. And we do realize that we have obviously limited availability of housing, so we do understand not everybody can live on campus. But if you get that opportunity, you really do get to engage with people in a totally different way, aside from the extra little bit of sleep, which is always nice, of course. But the reality is, if it's 2 a.m. and you're struggling with a calculus problem, you could go down the hall and wake your parents up. But what's the likelihood that your parents are going to appreciate, number one, being woken up at 2 a.m, and number two, no disrespect parents, how many of you are going to remember how to solve a calculus problem at 2 a.m?
Right,
I know
right.
I wouldn't, right? So chances are, though, when you live on campus, when you have that calculus problem at 2 a.m, somebody around, of the 5,200 students who live on campus between the two campuses, someone's going to be able to help you solve that calculus problem.
Wow.
So that's one of the nice advantages of living on campus.
I'm sold.
I like it.
Okay.
I would have definitely needed the math help.
Yes,
Yeah.
me too.
Okay. So once accepted to KSU, how does a student commit? Is there a deposit to hold their spot?
These are great questions.
Yeah.
It's almost like
They're
people
really
are,
good.
people are,
Not stopping.
yeah. So there's no formal deposit to be able to hold your seat or hold your spot or officially commit in that way. There's 2 things that we look at that will show true commitment that you're going to come for whichever term that you've applied and been admitted to. So for instance, if you're looking at fall 2020, then signing up for housing is a big commitment, and we recognize that, and we see that those are dedicated students that really want to be at KSU. The really true way to commit to the university is sign up for orientation. All of our new students coming in, first-year students coming in, you have to go to orientation. So if you're an incoming freshman or first-year student, you sign up for orientation, and at orientation is where you're going to learn all about the university, you're going to make a lot of new friends, you're going to start to build your community, and you're going to register for classes. So a lot of big things happen during orientation. That's your big thing. So orientation is the number 1, sealing the deal, committing to the university, and then number 2, if you sign up for housing, we're pretty sure that you're coming to KSU. So do those things.
Okay. All right. So we have a student that wants to know if they're eligible to enroll at KSU again if they last attended and received financial aid here at KSU 6 years ago. So I guess it would be like a
Readmit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll take it 2 parts. So yes, you can always come back to KSU. You would be considered a readmit student. I would encourage you to, one, reach out to us personally. So we would love for you to maybe come into the admissions office or give us a call. So that way we can look at your file individually and advise you the best way based on the information that we find out about you. So you can come to the Office of Undergraduate Admission. We're located on the Kennesaw campus and the Marietta campus. The Kennesaw campus, we're located at Town Point, and Marietta, we're located in the B building. But come see us, or if you need to call us, our office number is 470-578-6500. But you would be considered a readmit student with us. Once we've communicated with you about the readmission process, then we would encourage you to talk to financial aid, because they are a separate department from us, but you will have a financial aid counselor, and that'll be based off of your last name. So if you have questions about financial aid, you can always reach out to them. But we would love to talk to you more one-on-one about your admission file as a readmit student. Yeah.
Okay, and they have a follow-up.
Okay.
Can they exclude credits from college transcripts they previously attended but didn't gain credit?
That'll be something we could talk more personally about, just kind of looking at your file and seeing what courses you're talking about specifically. Yeah.
Do we want to take a break and talk to Dr.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hold some questions.
Yeah, I'll answer some questions
Yeah.
in the comments.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Okay.
Awesome.
So I think that one thing I love doing in Ask Admissions Facebook Live is these teachable moments that our special guests can have, helping educate the Facebook community out there about your specific area, about a lot of these college terms that aren't used outside of college, right? But we throw around so easily. So would you tell everybody, what is a dean of students?
Sure.
And then summarize all of the offices that fall under your purview and how you all work together to help students.
Sure, well, absolutely. So, a dean of students, I get that question a lot. And I've been trying for many years to help my mother understand what a dean of students is. And she's not quite yet figured it out. But so, in some ways, I'm a little bit the principal, because the dean of students does oversee student conduct, academic integrity, and helps students understand their rights and responsibilities. So things that have to do with the code of conduct and all that kind of thing. But that's not typically actually where most students are going to engage with the dean of students. Most students are really going to engage with the dean of students as a resource, because the dean of students is in some ways the concierge of the university. When you're not sure where to turn, especially at a large university like KSU is, we really pride ourselves on the fact that while we are very large, we also have a very personalized experience. And so the dean of students is a great place to turn to when you need help with anything outside the classroom. And so each of the academic colleges has a dean. The academic dean is responsible for your entire academic experience, everything having to do with your classes, your faculty, everything that happens inside the classroom. But when you think about it, as a full-time student, you're going to be in class anywhere from, let's say, 15 to 18 hours a week. That's generally a full-time student load. But there are math majors, how many hours in the week?
Oh gosh, I got this
I
calculus.
know. So, there are 168
Oh,
hours.
oh,
There you go. I don't want you to pop
was
right
I was
close.
just
there.
like, wait,
Yeah, well, no,
I was gonna
no,
let
hey.
you answer it. 'cause
Look,
I knew
it's
you knew.
Monday.
It's Monday.
Why is he
I
doing
get that.
this?
So yes, there are
on Monday?
168 hours in the week. So when you start doing your math and
Now
working
I know.
backwards, you've got 168 hours in the week. You're in physically class for, let's say, 15 to 18 hours of those. What are you doing with all those other hours that you can tell your parents? Right, so what you're going to do with all those other hours? I know, my
That's
goodness.
so funny.
It is, but in all seriousness, the academic experience, of course, is the heart of the university. But someone has to be the dean of everything that happens outside the classroom, and that's what I'm the dean of. So as I like to joke with my good friends in academic affairs, it takes 13 of those deans to have to handle everything inside the class. There's only one of me for outside the class. But the dean of students office, in addition, of course, to the student handbook and your code of conduct and all of that kind of stuff, we also are there for you for your out-of-class experience. So student life and all the different units within that. So you might be interested in joining a fraternity or sorority. You're interested in one of our 300-plus student organizations. You're interested, we've got club sports and intramurals, and so lots of sports and recreation opportunities that exist. We have our parent-family programs, which are part of the Dean of Students office. We also have student leadership and service. So for a lot of people who are interested in becoming that great student leader that you're going to be someday so that you can become the world leader of tomorrow, we have programs and opportunities for you to get that foundation while you're here. And so when you look at everything that falls within that, also, if you're just not sure where to turn, you need some extra guidance, some extra assistance. We are a great resource to help get you connected, to be an advocate for you, to help you find out ways that you can succeed as best as you can at KSU. And we also realize that with almost 38,000 students, success looks a little differently for each and every student at KSU. So whatever your personal path and trajectory of success is, that's what we're here to help support you and get you on that path for your path to success. And so that's really what a Dean of Students is in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's fantastic. It's a big nutshell, but yes.
We got it all. Love it.
What is some advice that you have from your lived experiences here as Dean of Students to help students transition? A lot of times we're talking to students and parents that are not yet here at the institution. And they're thinking about, okay, I'm going to go to college, right? And I know I have to go to college for XYZ reasons, but they don't quite know how to transition to the school. So what's some advice you can give them on really, from your experience, the best way to transition to school, the best way to plug in and get involved here at the institution?
Sure, so absolutely. So I think when you're making the transition to college, the first thing you need to know is college is a different experience than high school. Even if you did dual enrollment, and even if you did dual enrollment on a college campus where you got to have some of the college experience, when you are a full-time dedicated college student, it is a different lifestyle. And so you want to embrace that lifestyle and you want to be prepared for it early on. So you want to make sure that you know that a successful student is a student who is engaged both inside the classroom as well as outside the classroom. You want to think about what are the things that I just enjoy doing? What are the things that are really fun in life? And know that those things are going to be here for you and you're going to want to connect to those things as early on as possible. Do your research and get to know as much as you can about your new home. If you're going to be living on campus, be thinking about who am I going to be living with? If you can find out who your roommates are in advance, start to build those relationships. You also want to not think about your college experience as 13th grade. While I think it's cute that we talk about 13th grade, the reality is that it's not 13th grade. And not saying that you don't work hard in high school. I'm sure you do. But the reality is what the expectations are in college are a little different because you have to really be able to generate new original ideas and thoughts. And so it's not just about how well you can memorize information and be able to succeed on your exams. It really is about how well you think outside the box and you apply that knowledge in some new and exciting ways. So the more you can start preparing for thinking about how you engage that experience differently. The other thing too, this is where I'll call the parents out a little bit. Okay, can we have a real moment? We have a real moment with the parents. Because I usually start with I realize that none of you watching are the type of parents who would actually fill out your student's college application for them, because you know the importance of empowering your student to be a self-guided learner who is going to do things for themselves, right? Because, they say, give a fish, have a meal for a day, learn to fish, have a meal for a lifetime, right? So you're teaching the student to fish by having them fill out their own application. You guide them and help them along the process, but they're the ones actually doing the process. So that also becomes really important when you make that transition to college. You're learning all those important critical life skills. And if you were lucky enough to have parents who did a lot of great things for you, like your laundry, and cooked and cleaned for you and did all that, good for you. That was wonderful that you had that. But when you get to college, it's time to start stepping up and learning those skills for yourself. From my many years of living on college campuses and working with residence halls, I always make sure that students understand the type of soap you put in the dishwasher is different than the type of soap you use to wash dishes in the sink. You think I don't have to say that, but if I told you how many times I've walked into a college residence hall room to be greeted by bubbles up to here because they put the wrong soap in the dishwasher. It literally happens every semester. So do know that these are life skills that you've got to learn before you come on our campus, and we can help you to prepare you for that transition.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Great advice. Great advice. So we talk a little bit in our side of admissions that we fall into this job a little bit. So we didn't necessarily grow up wanting to be admissions counselors or things like that. But how did you fall into your role as the dean of students or as resident director? How did you get to where you are now?
Oh my goodness. Great question. And it was a little fortuitous. So I, as an undergraduate student in my undergraduate college, I actually first met my dean of students in not the most desirable way.
Ooh.
Oh, I know.
All right, story time.
I know you're
Love
not
it.
supposed to tell the stories.
I like this.
So my first week on campus, I was that student who thought, I'm gonna be cool, and I'm gonna go to all the parties, and I'm gonna, hang out with the upper class students and try to act like I'm older than I am and do the things that I probably shouldn't be doing on campus. And I got into a little bit of trouble. And so my first meeting of my dean of students was actually over a conduct-related issue. But I gotta tell you, I had the deanest, the deanest.
That's a cool word. You've just coined something.
I had the coolest dean of students.
The deanest.
Because my dean of students called me in and said, so, let's talk about the choices you have in life and how you find yourself sometimes at a crossroads that you either choose the path that's going to lead you to wonderful success in your future or the path that's going to lead you to be uninvited from being a student at our institution. And so which path are you going to choose? And that really kind of sat with me for a minute. And I thought, and I love that phrase because I use it all the time now too. You know, we don't kick students out of school. We invite you to no longer be a student for a period of time while you figure out what you're doing with life and pick a new path. And so that quick moment made me think, okay, I'm picking a new path. And luckily, my dean of students, who also was super, super cool, said, so now that we've dealt with the conduct issue, let's talk about how are you going to be the most successful student you can be. Tell me what student organizations you're joining. Tell me how you're using your time outside the classroom for things that are more productive than what it is you're sitting in my office for right now. And so that gave me an opportunity to connect in a very different way. And I did. I took that invitation to be the best student I could be very seriously. And so I had many more opportunities in the years I was an undergraduate to connect with my dean of students for all the right reasons and no longer for the wrong reasons, and realized this is the coolest job in the world. Someday, if I could do this job. And so that was kind of my start of my falling in love with the dean of students. But to be honest, I did stray from the path a little bit, do some different things. But in grad school is when someone told me, you don't just graduate with a master's and then the next day become a dean of students. You actually have to do a whole lot of things first. And so the reason I ended up in residence life, I never wanted to work in residence life, I'm not gonna lie, never. But I had a wonderful advisor in grad school who said, you gotta pay your dues and you've gotta spend some time in the trenches because residence life is a microcosm of the entire college experience. And my advisor was so right.
Absolutely.
And so my first job working residence life taught me everything I need to know about the foundational experiences of college students. And so then from there I just kept advancing and advancing and advancing until someday I landed my dream job of being a dean of students.
There you go.
There you
Look
go.
where you are now.
And you're the deanest.
Deanest.
I am the deanest
I'm
now.
remembering that. That's not going away. That is
I
so
like
cool.
it. I get a lot.
Very cool.
Awesome. So you talked a little bit about being an engaged out. Can you go a little bit further into what that looks like and kind of the life outside of the classroom? Like, what does that look like for a student?
Sure, absolutely. And you know, and it can look different for different students, for sure. And I think that every student, you know, most important, find your passion. You know, and your passion doesn't always have to be about something that's going to make you money. Because some of the things that I still love doing the most are things that I knew were never going to be my career path. So like to have my little nerdy moment.
I was going to say like.
I was in the Glee Club when I was an undergraduate student. Now I'll tell you, I'm not that good a singer, but I like to sing, mostly karaoke. So I really enjoy singing. And so luckily someone said, you know what? It doesn't matter that you're not that great and that you're never going to be a music major. Join the Glee Club because they're an awesome group of people and you'll get to do something that you really enjoy doing outside the classroom that can be totally unrelated to your academic experience. So I joined the Glee Club and it was an amazing experience. And so a lot of the students who are involved in our organizations that are arts related, our organizations that have creative outlets, our organizations that are faith-based organizations, and we've got a lot of those. It doesn't mean that you want to have, that those organizations have to have anything to do with your career path. Though we also have great organizations that have a lot to support your career path. So being an engaged owl is also about doing more than just one thing. So I think that's also really important. We have a lot of students who will join a fraternity or sorority, for instance. And when you join a fraternity or sorority, you are a lifetime brother or sister with that organization. And that's a wonderful, important bond. But that should not be the only thing you do. You need to be involved in multiple outlets. And so I tell folks, think about, with 300 different organizations in a lot of different categories, pick and choose different experiences that also help to build the diversity of your resume that show that you are a well-rounded individual. Because you can have a perfect 4.0, which is amazing if you graduate with a perfect 4.0, but if all you have on your resume is a perfect 4.0, are you as likely or less likely to get that dream job than the student who might have a 3.7 but also was the treasurer of a student organization and has some money management skills, and someone who was secretary and has organizational skills and knows how to keep records, and someone who was involved in planning programming and doing these great outreach and did community service and served others. So it's really all of those other experiences that are going to demonstrate to your future employers why you need to be hired over that other student out there who you're competing with.
Good advice. I
Yes.
like it. Yeah.
Fantastic advice.
Awesome.
Becca, you got some
I do.
questions
Yeah,
for us?
she's like typing
there we go.
away over there.
Answer none, but okay, let me get one that I think will be applicable to a lot of people. Oh, we have a nice comment. So from Tifton, Georgia, they love KSU. Her daughters had the best experience, and she says the university provides the rigor needed in today's job market.
Wow.
Awesome. Hooty hoo.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Coin it. Yeah.
Yes, I
yeah.
like it.
Trademark,
Thank
whatever
you.
we have to do.
Perfect. Okay, here's another one. Do you offer scholarships for international students?
So we do offer scholarships. As Jordan said, we open up all of our scholarships November 1st, and then they will close February 1st for our students. So whether you are a student that is an international student, or if you are an incoming freshman, there will be scholarships available to you. So the scholarship application, you'll do one application for all of our scholarships, and then they'll be evaluated. And so that information, you being an international student or a first-time freshman, whatever the student type you are, there are scholarships available to you. Yeah.
And we also have this really cool thing called the International Tuition Waiver. It's a competitive process to get the tuition waiver, but it takes you from paying the international tuition cost to an in-state student tuition cost. You have to apply for it, and you can read about it at admissions.kennesaw.edu. You scroll down, and there's a section that talks about waivers. You want to click on that, and then click on the international tuition waiver.
Okay. Awesome. All right, next. Okay. I got accepted as a transfer.
Congratulations.
All right, hooty hoo.
Yeah, nice job. I'll be completing my business marketing degree solely online. Will there be any opportunities for me to participate in organizations since my courses are online only?
Absolutely.
There you go.
So, yes, absolutely. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is that our resources and services are available to all students. And so, as I like to say, I am the Dean of Students of every student wherever you are in the world. So even our students who are in Montepulciano in our Italy site, there are times when we have programming opportunities and outreach and support for those students. So do know that wherever you are, whatever sort of student experience you have, there are opportunities for you to get involved. Now, I will say, there are certain services that we offer that are specifically linked to certain student fees. And so if you are a fully online learner, then there are certain fee waivers. And so if there's a service that you have received a waiver of that fee, then you would have to opt in to pay that fee to then receive that service. So for instance, we've got an amazing recreation center. Our sports and rec center is world-class, great facilities, great services, and it is fully funded and supported by the student recreation fee. But if you're a fully online learner, you're not paying the sports and recreation fee. But if you want to use the facility, all you have to do is register with them to opt in for that one fee, and you can then get that service. So just know that as an online learner, you have a lot of flexibility, you have a lot of options, but definitely, we also have student organizations, some of which live completely in a virtual space. So if you go to ourlife.kennesaw.edu, Our Life, we're very creative at KSU, everything has to do with an owl.
Right,
So
right.
Our Life, life.kennesaw.edu, you can look up information about all of our organizations, and you can actually, through that site, register and engage with the student leaders fully in an online space. And I have been amazed how many of our student organizations do virtual meetings now, because people are so busy, and because we've got students in so many different places. It's a really great way for people to still engage and be able to be a very active OWL leader.
Yeah. Our Life is fantastic because even working at the institution, I'll hear about a club, I'll go on to Our Life to learn about it, because it's with over 300 clubs and organizations, it is a little hard to keep up with all the different things that are going on. So I was on there the other day looking at the Disney Club. Because
That is so cool.
I know.
I want to be a part of the Disney Club.
Well,
Oh my goodness, and
you
you should
you
come
should do
to
it.
their princess. They do a big formal
I'm like
dance.
so like on
They're
the
all
I'm
dressed in
so
princess
excited.
gowns. You should be there. It's an
I
amazing
want
There
night.
you go. Boom. Sounds like a
That is-
date with destiny.
Date with Destiny.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Yes.
So check it out. Our Life, really cool.
Okay, next question. Are professors typically accommodating when it comes to students in the Navy Reserves?
I can jump in and answer this question.
Yeah.
So I get to work on the Presidential Commission on Veteran Students, or I can't remember the full-on official name, but Student Veterans Presidential Commission, something like that. Anyways, we have an incredible military and veteran services office. And what that office likes to say, it's Frank and Richard and some other wonderful people, is that if you are an active duty military member, service person, or you're in the reserves and you receive papers, you get called up for something, then you want to work with them first. And you want to go straight to them so that you can coordinate with them and work with your professors for each class that you're taking. To make sure that, depending on what the papers are, right, that they're going to be able to accommodate you. And then also, if not, then we do have a withdrawal process from the university. But we want to make sure that we are treating you fairly, and we want to give you the resources that you need to be successful here, and then while you're also active duty. But in my experience, I will say, and being on this commission and hearing, because I work in admissions, so I don't get to work in the academic affairs side and hear from faculty all that often about this very specific thing, is that we have some incredibly accommodating faculty members that truly care about you and care about your life outside of your classroom life, right? The life that as Dr. Sansevero was talking about, those 15 or 18 hours that you spend in the week here in class. So we have some faculty members that truly understand your situation or the situation you may find yourself in. And we are very military friendly when it comes to issues like that. And we have a large veteran population and active duty service member population here on campus as well. So very proud of that. But check out Military and Veteran Services. There's some wonderful people that would love to help you out if you have any further questions.
I'll drop the link for them there.
All right, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Another question. Let me see. They just keep coming. How much of a chance do I have of getting in if I'm on the wait list? How often are we checking it? Maybe a little brief explanation of that.
Yeah, so it depends on the term that you've applied for in regards to when you're finding out about the wait list. So let me say it that way. If you've applied for the spring or for the summer, we're currently making waitlist decisions now on a semi-rolling basis. If you've applied for fall 2020 and you're on the wait list, then you will not hear back about a waitlist decision until really sometime in January, maybe early February. And my advice to you is to reach out to an admissions counselor. Feel free to, if you want to drop your email here in Facebook, and I'll grab it, and then we can start a conversation. But I want to counsel you and talk to you about some of the specifics that are going on the academic side of your life that we can see. Do you need to retest? Is it a testing issue? Do we need to wait until your fall grades are ready if you're in high school and your fall grades are prepared so that we can reevaluate your GPA? But I want to have that chance to talk to you a little bit further and see what your specific situation is, because it may be that you can become admissible without even needing a waitlist decision. But I serve on the waitlist committee, and we'll make decisions, though specifically to your question, we'll start making waitlist decisions for fall 2020 sometime in January, early February.
Awesome. Okay. Can you live on the Kennesaw campus but have a major at the Marietta campus?
So I'll answer this question, and maybe you can jump in,
Sure.
Dr. Sansevero. So yes, you can live on the Kennesaw campus, the North Campus, and have classes or major down here at the Marietta campus. I always tell students, be mindful of, once again, the time frame it takes you to get from your the Kennesaw campus down to Marietta. Like I said, it's 11 minutes from Kennesaw to Marietta with no traffic. So just be mindful of the time. Like if you are living at the Kennesaw campus, but you have a 9 a.m. class, think about the traffic. The same goes with 2 o'clock. if you have a 2 o'clock class down here at Marietta, but you're up at Kennesaw maybe taking classes, or maybe you work in the morning, you just have to be mindful of the time frame. So it's really just time management for you as a student. I would encourage you, if you want to live on campus, I would live where your major is. Here at the Marietta campus, you still have the same awesome amenities that you would at the Kennesaw campus. So you can live in Hornets Village, which is suite style for you as a student, or if you want to live in a traditional style, we have that in Howell Hall. And then we also have apartments. So we have all the same housing opportunities and facilities that we would have at Kennesaw, and we have them down here at our Marietta campus.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember too that where you live is more than just about where you sleep. Where you live is really about the community that you connect with. And so if you're living with the students who you're going to be taking classes with for the next 4 years, and you're going to be doing labs with, or you're going to be working on projects with, the sooner you connect and bond with that community of scholars that you're going to be learning and living with, the better support network you have. Because really, while of course the amazing professors are here to help you learn the material, your peer network is really there to help support you through that process. And so just think about that as you're thinking about your choices on where you might want to live.
Awesome. Okay. Can a student transfer from another college with 27 credit hours?
So
Yes, you can.
yes, you can.
Next question.
We can go more in depth if you want to. We can talk more individually about your credit hours, because there's a difference between if you're really a transfer freshman or if you're a full transfer student. So definitely give us a call or contact our admissions office. You can talk to me directly, and we can talk about your student type. Yeah.
You're still transferring. We just
Yes.
need to see your
Yeah,
high
high
school
school
transcript and test
Yeah.
scores as well. No big deal.
Okay, I had 2 questions about fee waivers. So how does the free application waiver work? How do they get it in? And just a brief description about that.
Yeah, sure. So you can go on admissions.kennesaw.edu. Our fee waiver process is out there on the website. You do need to send us an official fee waiver, like from NACAC or College Board or ACT, one of those organizations. And if you've recently taken something like the SAT or the ACT, you can go into your student profile, and you'll find, if you are eligible for an application fee waiver, you can find your fee waiver there on your student profile. You may also talk to your high school counselor and find out a little bit more resources about applying with a fee waiver to colleges, but sometimes your high school counselors have fee waivers available as well. But our process is really straightforward and simple, and just follow the directions that are there on our website. I'll have Becca drop the link there under your question, and you'll be good to go. So once we get the actual fee waiver, it takes a couple days, and we're going to shoot you back the code that you're going to use at the end of our application. So I recommend, and Jacinta would say the same thing, get to the end of your application, get it all completed. There's 8 pages that make up our application. And also, for everybody else, it's really not that big of a deal. I like to say, you could be doing it right now, actually. This is a great example. Watching us on Facebook Live, asking questions, filling out your application. It shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes. There's no essay component or letters of rec required. Easy peasy, get it in there. We want to make sure that we remove as many barriers as possible from your path to get to KSU. So very straightforward application, and then you're just waiting on the fee waiver code. That's it. So once you get it, pop it in there, hit submit, boom.
Multitask.
Bada book, bada boom.
Okay, we just have about 7 minutes left. I've literally got a bunch of questions.
Oh,
So
wow.
I can keep reading them.
Oh, man.
Finish up with Dr.
Somebody give me
Severo.
Facebook access and I'll answer them later.
I'll be doing it when I get home, but yeah, I just, maybe we'll.
I'll
have
use
a
my
little
wife's.
conversation. I'll go with
Sorry.
as April.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I mean, I can keep reading them, or what do you guys think?
I think we can ask more questions
Yeah,
of you,
yeah.
Dr.
Yeah.
Sanseviero.
Yeah, we can hammer
Let's
these.
talk to you a little bit more, and then
That's
we'll
right.
answer the last questions. Yeah, we've got some questions. So, so you told us about who you are, what you do for our students, but is the Dean of Students just for students?
No, actually, and while of course Dean of Students first and foremost is for the students, the Dean of Students really is meant here to support the entire family in the educational experience, because we realize that students, you're not coming to us in a vacuum. You don't just show up on our campus and all of a sudden, you just completely disconnect from the whole world that you had prior to your arrival. The reality is you came from a community and a network, you're coming into a community and a network, but that support of the community and network you came from needs to connect to this community and network. And so that's why parent-family programs, which is part of the Dean of Students Office, is such an important part of what we do. Of course, we have the parent-family portal, which any of you can sign up for the portal at any time. So it's great.
I've heard it's better
Yes.
than Facebook.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
the portal's incredible.
That's what I've heard.
The portal really is absolutely incredible. And the nice thing too is once you're in the portal, you're then connected to information. Because again, while yes, I don't want to send a mixed message that I want students to be empowered to be their own people and do their own things, but we also know that sometimes the nudge that comes behind the scenes is just as powerful. So we partner with parents to help you help your students succeed. And so that's what the Dean of Students Office does to support the entire family.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can you, as we wind down, because we've got about 5 minutes, could you tell us just tips for how to succeed in college?
Sure.
Your best advice.
Absolutely. I'll tell you my best advice.
Secrets.
And I've been doing this a long time. So yes, number one, go to class. I know it
Yeah.
sounds like silly, like everyone's like,
No, but it's
really?
true.
Just
No,
show
because
up.
Yeah.
People say that all the time, like, oh, in
Yeah.
college, there's not all these requirements to be in school like there are in high school, and it's not all these rules, and it's not as restrictive. That is true, but while the whole sleeping with a book under your pillow for osmosis does not work, however, there is a level of osmosis simply by being physically present in the classroom. Also, that schmooze factor, I'm a New Yorker, so I like to schmooze. I will tell you, that schmooze factor
He's
is
good at it,
very
too.
real. When you show up in class, your professor knowing who you are makes a huge world of difference. So if you're struggling, even if you're not the best student in the class, the professor is definitely going to help support you and feel better about you if you're the student who cares and tries versus the student who just disconnects and disengages and the professor doesn't even know who you are. So that's super, super important. Just being there is half the battle, right? So be there, be engaged. And then, I also have found too, lots of, I've got a zillion little tips. All sorts of things are running through my mind. But again, also figuring out good time management. Time management is so super important. And everyone says, because I know you're going to totally tell me this, when I teach like first year seminars, I always say to my students, so how many of you have good time management? And they'll say, I've got good time management. I have a smartphone. Okay, that's great that you've got a calendar, but that's not the same as time management. It's just like, I have a savings account, so I have good financial management. No. So you got to learn how to manage your time. But part of that also means using your time wisely. And so some people say, well, I don't want to be overburdened, and so I'm not going to get all involved in all these sorts of things. The reality is if you don't find a way to schedule and fill your time with productive things, then unproductive things will find a way to fill your time. Like hanging out on Facebook all night long, right? Hey, this is a productive hour. This is a productive hour of Facebook, but some of you are going to spend some unproductive hours on Facebook. So use your time wisely. And then, since I threw out the money thing, okay, financial management. You have got to learn how to manage your money. And it doesn't matter how much of it or how little of it you have, because the reality is you're going to find a way to survive. As my mother told me when she cut me off when she went to college and said, I'm cutting you off out of love. She said, because I have enough faith that you're not going to let yourself starve and you're not going to find yourself, not being able to survive. You're going to find a way. And so I learned, get that work-study job on campus where people support you and love you and give you some money to help you along the way. But learn how to manage the money all along the way. And so that way when you graduate, you don't go home and live in your parents' basement because no one wants that, right?
No.
So anyway, I know our time's
We're getting
running
close.
out.
We're getting close. Real
Getting
quick. Real quick.
But if you got more questions, you got more advice, anything you need, of course you've got amazing resources here through admissions. But also know, Dean of Students at Kennesaw.edu. We have a nice, easy email because I have a long Italian last name that doesn't fit well in email. So if you email instead, Dean of Students at Kennesaw.edu, it doesn't matter if you're a student here or not yet. If you got any questions about anything, if we don't have the answers, we're going to get you the answers and we're going to get you connected to the right places and make sure that you're taken care of.
I love that. You said it early on, being the concierge for the university, and I think we've definitely found that One, in working with you over time, and I know even I've said this at open house before, the first day I met you with our old friend Jean So, maybe Jean's out there, she's probably not watching this, she's busy.
Yeah.
But when I got to meet you and learn from her just how engaged you were as Dean of Students, but even just as a human being working in higher education. So thank you so much as well for what you do for our students and what you'll do for these incredible families that have connected with us tonight. And we're gonna, if you've got questions, I know we've got questions rolling in massively, right? We are going to answer your questions after this, so hang tight with us, all right? We'll get you some answers to your questions. If you need anything whatsoever, Dr. Sansevero has already said it, but please reach out to us. He mentioned we have almost 38,000 students here. We absolutely recognize that. We own it, but we like to be an institution that is really large, but still rolls out the red carpet for every single student. You'll hear our president talk, President Witten, about each and every student is the center of our universe. And that's really the approach that all of our offices take, is we want to make sure you, the student, or if you're the family here, we're going to assure you that your student is going to be the center of our universe. And I think you've heard that here tonight. So go see the Dean of Students website. Check out all the really cool things that are going on here in student affairs at KSU. Please come for one of our open houses. Please come for a campus tour and hit that priority deadline that's coming up here this Friday, all right? So we always like to close with owl eyes. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. But I think because you're the Dean of Students, you're going to do a really good owl eyes. Let's connect our owl eyes, and then we just hooty-hoo, like fly off, okay? Hooty-hoo!